Am I the arsehole for pouring my husband's sweet tea down the drain and marching out? I lost my part-time job due to COVID and I've basically become a little housewife. I'm fine with that, as that's always been my role in my relationship anyways, it's just less hard to keep up with now. I'm also in school for nursing, but obviously I'm doing that from home. My husband works full-time and works hard. His commute to work is very long, over an hour each way. We go running together every day, and because I know it's a lot of stress for him, we meet 20 minutes away from our home so he doesn't have to come home and drive back out. He calls me when he's 20 minutes away, and I leave. Today, I was 7 minutes late as I had to turn off all the lights and get myself together before leaving the house. When I got there, he copped a major attitude with me for being late. Refused to even speak to me. For being 7 minutes late. I tried to explain that I had to put my shoes on and turn out the lights, but he wouldn't talk to me. The run was very awkward, and when we got home, he said that he felt he had every right to be angry, and stomped off upstairs. I've had a lot of pent-up feelings about the fact that he has always expected me to be at his beck and call. It's like he thinks the whole world revolves around his time schedule because I lost my job. Anytime he's hungry, thirsty, he yells my name. He doesn't even serve his own plates anymore. It's like he thinks I just sit in the dark with my hands folded, waiting for him to call. At this point, I knew he was being ridiculous, and I was just so upset that I did something that may make me the arsehole. When he came downstairs, I told him that he could make his own dinner, his own lunch tomorrow for work, and I looked him straight in the eye as I poured the pitcher of sweet tea I make him every week down the drain, and I said, "You can make your own sweet tea too, you ungrateful brat." And I walked out and drove to my mom's house. So, am I the arsehole for that overreaction? I was just so annoyed. Update: I deleted my edits because I wanted to do an update, as I see a lot of kind, wonderful people so concerned about my well-being. I want to thank each and every one of you for being so supportive. I don't have any friends anymore, and all the messages and comments have made me feel like I have a support group. For now, I am staying at my parents' indefinitely. My mom is helping me write a list of all the reasons I'd want to stay, and all the reasons I'd like to leave. I have always been a very independent person, and I think I've been lying to myself about my situation for a long time. I called him to tell him I wouldn't be coming home, and he didn't really seem to care much, which did hurt a lot. Either way, I am going to get through this and I'm gonna get my degree. For those of you concerned about kids, don't worry, I have an IUD. Again, thank you all so much. Your love and support means more to me than I can express. Not the arsehole. I felt like the "everybody sucks" crowd had a point until I saw he's 31 and you're 19, and he specifically wanted a housewife. Look, age gap relationships can work out fine and be perfectly healthy, provided the older partner treads with care. He has an obligation to be especially mindful, patient, kind, and to make your needs and comfort the focus of the relationship. He should be letting you guide everything, following your lead, and not concerning himself with what he wants. Otherwise he's just an exploitative creep. Okay, so there's a lot here. Girl, you're 19. You and this man are not equals. He thinks of you more as a maid than as a partner, and that's not going to change. You've got a whole life to live, and you can't limit yourself to serving an older man who doesn't care about you forever. Leave. Find a job, even a shitty one for now. Find local food pantries. If you can't afford a cheap place right now, try to stay with friends. You are worth significant other much more than this. Nothing wrong with being a housewife, but only in a fair partnership, which this is clearly not. Go live your life. Not the arsehole. I was going to say you probably overreacted a little bit, but then I saw that you are 19 and he is 31. Of course you overreacted, you are still just a kid at that point, who was spotted by a 30-year-old man as being vulnerable. He has groomed you and placed you in exactly the position he wanted. A young girl he can fuck and keep tied to the house and to him. He got mad about 7 minutes because he is training you to be scared of letting him down at all, or be even 7 minutes late to something. So by getting angry he expected you to roll over like the dog he thinks you are and beg for forgiveness. It must have been a shock to him that you didn't do that, and I'm honestly very concerned about you going back to that house where he could possibly punish you. Please be careful. Not the arsehole. It is not normal for a 31-year-old to date a 19-year-old, and now he expects you to be a housewife at 19. Please look for another job and run. This situation has so much potential for you to become his abuse victim. He is already verbally abusing you. Not the asshole. I don't understand why someone might be pissed off for being 7 minutes late, and why a lot of people in the comments are saying you are the asshole. You're not his maid, you're his wife. He doesn't get to shout your name for dinner or tea or whatever. However, you might have overreacted a bit, but I understand that this frustration was building up for a while now. I'm gonna stick with not the asshole. You were late, both of you overreacted, but you had a better reason than him. Reading over your replies, it sounds like your husband expects you to do everything at home and doesn't treat you particularly well. You were only late by 7 minutes. Far too many people seem to think that's a terrible sin, which is ridiculous. You sound overworked, underappreciated, and like your husband uses you as an emotional punching bag. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, he's treating you badly. You should really reconsider this marriage. It's not normal to be someone's maid, and his reaction to you being late is a red flag. He married a 19-year-old for a reason. No one his age would ever put up with him treating them how he treats you, dear. Not the asshole, but I do have questions. Info. What happens if you leave the lights on? Not the asshole, but you should have just spoken up for yourself much earlier. I see the age gap, and my inclination about you being abused was on point. Please get out. Ask whoever you need for help. Not the asshole. Your response fits your age and his emotional maturity level. Not pertaining to the judgment. I would take heed of the comments here warning about the red flags because they are plentiful. Your relationship does not fit the proper dynamics of a relationship, and it will be very easy to fall into a horrible situation permanently. I think you should get out. You don't want to be in a relationship that makes you feel awful, and brings out the worst in you. Not the asshole, he doesn't see you as an equal. You being 19 and him being in his early 30s. Kind of suggests he took advantage when you were vulnerable and he's trying to groom you. Not the asshole. Girl, this is not okay. He is not treating you right. He is grooming you to become his servant. He doesn't want you to get an education, or to have time to yourself, or thoughts of his own. Please leave him. Please leave him before kids enter the scene. You have your entire life ahead of you. I know you probably don't come from an ideal family situation, but can you stay with your family for a while until you can save up enough to move out? This will only get worse and worse. Today it was anger and the silent treatment. Tomorrow it could be much worse. He is abusing you. I don't know how else to say this. You need to leave. The law may view you as an adult, but you are a teenager. It really doesn't matter that he was the only one who would take you in. He is a predator and you are his prey. 6 months is too fast for any marriage, but especially for an 18-year-old marrying a 30-year-old. Everything about this situation is so wrong, but I feel like you are too young, too inexperienced to see what is happening here. It starts with yelling and pouting for being 7 minutes late, and only escalates from there. What happens when something happens and you aren't able to make it at all to your daily walk if this happens over 7 minutes? As of right now, he holds all the power in your relationship, and that's not how relationships are supposed to work. Not the asshole, and please make an escape plan. Well, I'm triggered as buggery reading this. My ex-fiancé was 26 years older than me, and while I'm 38, I do believe that the same scenario of younger hotter bang maid is somewhat what he had in mind for me too. He never let me live down the fact that we live in his house. His stuff fills it. His cars. His money pays for everything except groceries. He conveniently forgets that I had a career, a home, stuff of my own and cars etc. before I moved here. Now he's my ex because I'm done being taken for granted. It doesn't seem to matter what age some people are, they will always take you for granted if you ever give them a glimmer of hope to do so. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband sounds incredibly immature and angry for you. Sure. What you did was a bit dramatic, but honestly sometimes it takes a dramatic act for people to truly get the point. I'm certain that if you had tried to talk to him calmly, he would have just kept his act going and tried to gaslight you. Everyone on here posting "you are the asshole" must be perfect humans with perfect tempers all the time. Not the asshole. You're not overreacting. Your husband is treating you like a house bitch. And you're just now starting to realize how annoying it is. Don't let him continue to treat you like that. That's his male privilege. Explain to him that you're happy to be on the same team, but that you expect to be treated with respect. Not the asshole. Run. Don't look back. You deserve better. NTA. But it's rather disgusting that man in his 30s is married to a teenager. Your frontal lobe isn't even developed yet and he's got you wrapped around his tiny finger. You should start thinking about this relationship because it seems rather icky to me. Not the asshole girl, he's literally trying to use manipulative techniques to train you into being a perfect little servant girl who takes care of the house and always does what's asked of her. Not the asshole, he is controlling, and honestly this is the start of abuse. It is going to get more and more toxic. You are 19, he is 30, there is a power imbalance there and he is abusing his power. Leave him and find somebody who is worth you and your time and love. Not the asshole, but you're kidding yourself if you think you're an equal in this marriage. There's a good reason why men like this don't go for women their own age. Not the asshole. I bet that shiny new spine feels good. Proud of you. Now, you just need to dump his worthless ass and all will be well. Not the asshole. There are a lot of controlling, abusive red flags here. You were right to stand up for yourself and to leave. I just want to hear the update on how things went with him making his own dinner, lunch and sweet tea. Good for you op in standing up for yourself. Not the asshole, please don't return to your abuser. Finish school, get a job and live your life. The life you've only just begun. You are flipping 19. And never marry out of desperation. A man is not a plan. I'm too busy squinting at this age gap. Not the asshole. He deserved that. And you deserve better than him. A real husband would not take advantage of you losing your job to make you feel subservient to him. I know it's hard to think about divorce, but there's lots of other fish out there. It's not too late to save yourself from this abusive relationship. Not the asshole. And when someone tells you that you are overreacting, it is code for, I know I was wrong, but I don't actually care how you were impacted. I'm not accountable to you. NTA. This is abuse which isn't shocking considering he groomed a child bride. Let me tell you that Nunes is shocked or expecting this marriage to work. I doubt your parents are shocked. Go stay permanently at mom's. I went and read through various comments, and I see your update, and holy hell, not the asshole. This piece of, redacted to protect the innocent, dares to verbally and emotionally abuse you when you are literally doing everything. He clearly is too much of a fuckwad to do himself, then scolds you for being late while trying to hold yourself to the absurd standards he gave you. Ugh. Please tell me you're filing for divorce. He wants a house elf he can fuck, not a wife. I am glad you were able to go home to your parents. I'm proud of you for not tolerating this treatment. He should not treat anyone like this at all. Not the asshole. I think you were relatively subdued. A lot of women would have poured it on his head. Not the asshole, but you need to think about leaving. This man is not treating you like an equal. Given the age gap and your other comments, this is an abusive, unhealthy relationship. Not the asshole. You already received a lot of advice, but I just wanted to add that he's probably about to get really nice. Flower, apologies, doing chores. He probably realized he pushed too far and now needs to lock you down again to get you back to what he wants so he can act like this again, or probably worse. That and or a lot of negging. Not the asshole. Please run far, far away from him. He is trying to control you. Get out of there, find an apartment or someone to stay with and a job, even if it's a crappy job. A crappy job is better than the situation you're in right now. Not the asshole. Dude, my job gives a 8-minute grace period to clock in without a late occurrence. He can chill out. Also, you need to start making whatever plans you can to get away from this dude before he gets you pregnant and you're stuck. Not the asshole. This is full of him being one though, right down to the silent treatment, and he's 31. Info. Do you like it when he screams your name to get a cup of tea? That's what babies do. As a southern woman, the tea dumping is poetry. No sugar tonight for that dumb ass. Not the asshole. I just want to say that this is the most southern revenge imaginable. Not the asshole. You are way too young to be anchoring yourself to a man who is obviously looking for nothing more than a maid to be at his beck and call. Ditch him and find yourself a satisfying job. Better yet, go to college and get a degree and get a kick-ass career. You should be having fun in college, not chained to someone who wants nothing more than a servant. Not the asshole. I have to wonder though, did his mother do everything for him growing up? Not the asshole. He sounds like a horrible person. There are already more red flags than I can count. Please run and stay with your parents or someone else you trust. You need to get out of there. Not the asshole. Sounds like he needs this wake-up call. Not the asshole. Honey, I know this isn't going to be easy to read, but you deserve so much more. He's not a good person and I worry what your future will hold if you continue this relationship. Please get your family on board and consider leaving. NTA. Good for you. It's one thing to be a housewife and another to be a servant. Not the asshole. But YOURE19 and HES30. Your husband is a creep and I'd definitely divorce him. He doesn't want a wife or partner, he wants a servant. Not the asshole. 1. Your sass when pouring his tea down the drain was impeccable, well done you. 2. As many others have said, please get out of this relationship as safely as you can and don't let him anywhere near your birth control. A minor point given the rest of the post, but he has a long commute of an hour. This is totally average. Many people do way longer. Just one more way, he seems to have convinced he's working so hard he must be waited on.